Hello and welcome to the Advocator. This is a program where we talk about what you guys guide us into talking about. So drop some links inside of our comment sections. We're running both a watch party and currently we're running a Facebook Live. So no matter where your comments are, we'll make sure to get them on the show. There's our watch party, and we're going to open them up right now so we can go directly to the links. If you guys want to drop it, we're paying attention to both as we're filming. This is not a show that I cannot pay attention. I can actually pay as much attention to things as I want for once. Sorry about shaking the camera. Facebook, you're plugged in so we don't lose power. So if you have a comment, drop the comment in. And if you have something you want us to show, drop your comment in. We're watching. We had Wendy say hi to us already. Format's pretty loose.
There we go. If you have something you want us to show,
it's a pretty loose format. Seriously, you guys give us something and we look at it. I'm going to start the show with something I want everyone to look at, and that is the Advocator itself, which is now on Kickstarter. Which, you guys, if you want to back the Advocator, you can by just going up here and hitting the Advocator. Probably should have left this open. So here we go. Here's the Advocator Presents, and we'll start here at the show.
Advocator Presents Winter Edition. The Advocator is comic-sodes of indie comic book franchises, giving you more of the characters you love. Indie Comics franchise shorts. And this week's featured stories, there are two, are Void and Mary. Let's check out why they've been picked to go together. First off, the Winter Advocates, Welcome to the Void Zero was one side of the coin. Here's the other from Chuck Pino, or just Chuck now, the indie darling. And from Joseph Duas, if someone you love died, would you remember them for who they were or who you wanted them to be? This is Mary revised. And here is why we're doing the crossover. You guys got to come check this out. We're announcing the new official cover of Welcome to the Void story, and it has got a lot of Easter eggs in it, and one of those Easter eggs right there is from something from Joseph Duas. It is actually a big character. Who is it? You got to check out more, ask some questions, figure it out. This is an Easter egg after all. Join us for the winter edition of The Advocator by pledging today.
All right, guys. So drop them links. Let me know. Morning, Rob Anderson already back. Hey, Dean, why don't you drop that Kickstarter in the comments and we'll give it a look and we'll get it on the show and it'll be sent out with it'll be part of what was already sent out, the Advocator amazingness. And of course, we have 107 backers, which is pretty cool. I'm totally excited about that. And it's a fantastic journey that we've been on. It hasn't always been the easiest road. I mean, we've had, I've ran a lot of campaigns, and I'll be honest with you, I've never once had anyone not back us, drop. We've lost people at the very end. I think in all my campaigns, I had one person back out. Honestly, it was more of a funding issue at the time of the end of a Kickstarter. For those who don't know, Kickstarter reaches out to get funds. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes it's as simple as a charge card freeze. Sometimes there's something wrong with the card. Sometimes it just hit at the wrong moment. You didn't realize when it was going to happen. But we've had a lot of pledges dropped on this one, and I can't figure out why. I mean, not a lot. For me, it's a lot. I think it's 4 people who have dropped it, and I can't figure it out. I don't know if it's just the time of the year. I feel weird trying to call someone. Well, not call, but message them on it. So, yeah, I don't know if I would do that. But yeah, we lost another one, so I'm not thrilled about that. So I'm leaning on you guys to help me get this to be something bigger and badder. So, a lot going on with this project. I'm just checking for links. And I think we'll get back to it. I think I'm just going to wander around Facebook a little bit for a minute, because I want this show not to be just about us. And if anyone wants to come on this morning and talk, please do. We're trying to make this more stable, and part of this problem with this show is the fact that, I have droppers too. I've heard a couple people say that they've had droppers too. It is weird. and Dean is hooking us up. So let's take a look at what he's got for us this morning. All right, so here's Dean's music. The only thing is, and I believe we talked about this, that Dean had said that, and stop me if I'm wrong, Dean, but you have the right from the band for this song. I'm not allowed to play it, so it sucks because it's actually a pretty good song. But while Dean's here, we could actually ask him some questions. And Dean, if you have a few minutes, we could actually ask you some of the 7 reasons to back a Kickstarter. I don't know if you're busy today, but it is definitely an awesome looking project. And I never got to look up the. There's an actual real human being who inspired the art behind the main character. I love to see just the comparison of how it came to be, but the fact of what you've done here and the way that you've done the sad puppy did give the rights. Okay, I remembered you telling me that. I just want to make sure. So something bad happens to this beautiful young lady, and she's traumatized by it. All right, so shoot some questions. I like that. He's in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a window, and don't worry, I'm going to get it away from the video real quick. And we're going to go over to our site. We're going to call up the 7 questions. And while we're doing the 7 questions, I'll loop the video. We'll just keep playing the video. How's that sound, Dean? And because, of course, Dean, there's a bit of a delay. I believe there's like a 50-second delay for it. Travis just broke our... It says interrupted. You guys still seeing me? I still see it being live. I'm going to have to quickly jump over because I'm seeing that it says that we're live. I don't know why it said that. All right, my phone's just being stupid. My phone had said that we were interrupted, and I didn't want that to be a thing where you guys can... Oh, it's back. Who knows why that was. And Travis Gibb has joined us. And Travis, you can actually come up to it, take the day off and rest. We had a long weekend at the show talking to a lot of people. It takes a toll on you. I know I'm worse for wear, man. My knee is swollen. I don't even know what I did to my knee. I don't even know when it happened, to be honest with you. But it's swollen. So, yeah, no. To get the 7 questions. Okay, I'm going to have to go down here. So at the very bottom of this, we're going to find it. And here are the 7 reasons to back the Kickstarter. And we're going to ask away. Morning, Travis, says Wendy. And Travis is actually in our, if you guys don't notice him, because he put in the link for the Dog Days project, which while that loads down there, I'm going to quickly transfer it from one to the other, because now I have both of these going. And the reason I do both, for you guys know, is that the watch party helps bring up your viewership and gets around the algorithm that Facebook currently has that limits the amount of views. They pretty much throttle your videos like they were talking about doing with the it was the net thing. I think it was the net zero thing where things were, we're going to talk about this in a little bit. They were talking about like throttling back speeds and stuff. That's basically what they do with their content. They limit the amount that people can see you sometimes, and Lord knows why they change their mind as they go, I should say. But I lost. Oh, there's Tainted. Okay, so we're gonna play the video again, and we're gonna start asking Dean some questions. So Dean, here come your questions. I hope you're ready. 7 reasons to back the Kickstarter. Here's the first one. Why do you feel you need Kickstarter to help launch your project, and will your goal, if reached, cover all creative costs? So that's your first question. And what I'm going to do for Dean, so he can actually answer these easier, is I'm going to copy them, and I'm actually just going to put them in the link here with Dean, and this way he can actually see them, and he can throw back his answers to us. So there you go, Dean. I've set you up. I'm going to give you a few minutes to get that taken care of for us, or you could just start answering them whenever you want. And I'll go back over and we'll come back to the Tainted video. In the meantime, let's check out the Dog Days Kickstarter going on. Now, real quick, Marcel Dupree, who's also behind Dog Days, showed us this amazing new art. It's, I believe, it's an alt cover for all you gentleman fans or just fans of dope art should get this cover. And the Gentleman is a different book that he does, an amazing book. Evolu's and I just nailing it. And this is by people, I cannot pronounce their name, but amazing creators. I might not be able to say it. Very Italian names, and Marco, I can give you, and Massimiliano, I believe is his name. I think I've heard it, but I'm probably saying it wrong. The last name's just nope. I'm not going to do it. Okay. He just jumped onto his desktop. If you want to come on and answer them live, if you're at home and you have a minute, I can give you a link. You can come on camera. You don't have to. We could definitely just read it off. I could be the voice. But here is Dog Days. Take a few minutes, get that together for us, Steve.
Welcome to the Dog Days Kickstarter, a crime citizen. Meet Barnabas, brander on the job and willing to help, and a crime too big and too sinister for him to handle. Meet Wolf, a hard-beat detective who's been on the job for a long time, not excited about Barnabas on the case, and she has her own problems with the litter of pups on the way. Animals being skinned alive, taken some amazing pledge levels we want to get you connected to. Here's just a few. For just $10, you can get the digital PDF of Dog Days. Just $20, you can get the graphic novel in print, all 120 pages shipped to you. For those who love the bad guys, we have an exclusive Kickstarter cover called the Butcher Edition. If you want to be in Dog Days, now is your chance. Have a cameo in Dog Days as your favorite pet or as yourself, as whatever animal you want. Hurry now, pledge today, before it's too late.
So how cool is that, man? I'm really enjoying the fact that the creativity that comes out of indie comic keeps surprising me. I love the fact that this is like, and as someone who sat at a table and heard him talking about this book and seeing how excited he gets about it was so awesome. I mean, we ran into a couple furry people at the con, and they were definitely super excited about hearing such a book. For those who don't know what furry is, real quick explanation is it's people who identify as different parts of themselves that they believe can be better expressed through wearing an outfit that fits what they feel their persona actually looks like versus their human shell. And I hope I get that right, because I hate saying something that's not necessarily accurately true. All right. I'm looking to see if we had just our chat sections, make sure no one answered anything or dropped anything in, and as we scroll here. Now, one of the cool things about this, the pledge levels, is that you can actually have like your dog's name put into it, and if you are a fur, you could actually be written into that. How cool is that? I think that's super cool, to be honest with you. Big fan of that idea. And I'm trying to see if Dean's back with us. In the meantime, I do want to, I'm going to stall for a few seconds. Give me 1 minute. And you know what I'll do? I need to stall because I got to check to see if someone sent me a message. And I don't know who it is, so I'm going to do it off camera. And so instead, where's the Advocator? We'll play you another video from the Advocator. I just need a minute, so here it comes.
Advocator presents indie comic franchise shorts. The Advocator is like web episodes for indie comic book franchises. Short stories giving you more of the characters you love. This week's feature is Modern Testament by Frank Martin. The Ancient Story of Noah and His Ark gets reimagined for the modern world by Frank Martin. We are super excited by all the press that we've been getting and all the love that we've gotten through backing and through support. Please join us and become an advocator yourself today for this amazing project.
Dean has given us our first answer, so we're going to jump back over to Tainted. Now, these are the 7 reasons to back the Kickstarter. Tainted, it's available now. Look at that imagery. So the first question we had for our friend Dean was, uh-oh, my questions went away. I wonder what happened there. Let's see. We'll go forward on this and see if I can't call up the questions, but we did have them listed. Let me see if this is actually going to load or not. So our first question to Dean was, why do you feel you need Kickstarter? Why do you feel you need Kickstarter's help to launch the project? And he wrote the book to help bring awareness to mental health and to tell my story and struggles. Kickstarter is a great community and helps creators bring their vision alive. I needed the help to get this book out to the people who need it and also enjoy it. So that's pretty badass. I really dig that. I don't know why that popped up. I apologize. That should not be popping up. I hate that Facebook does that. It pops things up on you. And we have the questions down here now. Everything is back to the way it should be. So we're going to be on how did the creative team behind the Kickstarter come together? We're going to wait for that answer. We'll get it momentarily. So in the meantime, let's talk a little bit more about Tainted, and let's take a look at some of the arcs. The art in this is really beautiful. All right, so it says, hi, I'm Creek. I used to be popular. I had a boyfriend. I was getting good grades, and I used to be full of life. I used to be like them. I used to enjoy the excitement in the games. Then I fell in love and all changed. And then I'm going to just speed up because we saw that there was a crash. It doesn't go further than that. And here's Dean now, who's answering our questions on his laptop. Apparently fighting with her mom. I remember that, like when you're younger and you get bullied. Wendy says she's just working, no questions. All right, Wendy. Sure, don't ask me anything. So, I mean, when you're younger, right, and I'm going to leave it on this picture as we talk about this, as you're younger, especially now, we're raising children that bullies are bad, but if someone bullies you, you're supposed to just kind of take it. And I'm struggling with my son. He has the precursor to autism, I guess. Like they're saying he's probably on the spectrum, and he needs a little more attention and a little more energy. And when he gets frustrated, he tries to hit not me, but he tries to hit other people. And I don't think he's doing it necessarily to hurt. It's just a symptom of what they have going on as children with these behavioral problems. So he has a lot of trouble struggling with it, and I can't stand the fact that my son would bully another child. And I get very mad at him, and I don't know always how to deal with it. But I certainly know one of the ways to not deal with it is to tell our children to sit there and take the abuse. I know everyone's, oh, words don't hurt, but that's the biggest line of bullshit. That's just that take it and just be beat up by it. I do think that and mind you, I believe in freedom of speech. But here's the problem: when a bully, and I've dealt with this my whole life because I've been bullied. I was young and small, and I was a smartass. So bullies would say something, and I'd say something back, and I always got in trouble. And maybe it was because like things I said were quote unquote meaner, or I would like to say more honest. Like I even at like third or fourth grade, I would point out, I'd be like, I don't know if your mommy or daddy have been beating you at home, and that doesn't mean you have to come here and take it out on me. And bullies don't like that, because a lot of times, truthfully, it is the truth that these poor kids are getting bullied at home by their parents or circumstances. And this is a young woman just trying to be herself. And I've known a lot of goth girls, and there's a lot of misunderstanding about why people go goth. I mean, some just like wearing like the outfits, like the look. I wear a black trench coat. I love wearing all black. I wear more color specifically because people complain that I wear all black. So I've actually added color into and I like certain colors, don't get me wrong. But a lot of times people would call me goth when they didn't understand it. And goth's kind of a mentality, and it's kind of a way to free yourself and deal with stuff. I love this cover. This is a beautiful cover right there. That's probably my favorite cover of them all right there, because it's so expressive. And it's so hard to be a teenager, man. I'll tell you what, I don't like being old, but I don't miss being that young. You guys know what I mean? I'm trying to see if we had any more from Dean. I hated being a teenager, man. You grow up, but don't grow up too fast. Do this, but don't do that. A contradictive bullshit. Everyone wanted us to act like adults, but we weren't treated like adults. So, there's a lot that goes with that. And I love the fact that it tackles depression, and it kind of shows it all. And you guys can get a digital copy of Clutch and Prayer. And I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm sure Dean. Oh, here we go. That's CB Zane's cover. Oh, I'm not surprised at all that I fell in love with that cover then, because CB Zane and me are working together soon, so I'm excited about that. Dean said, I was bullied and abused too. I found that the bullies also bully because they don't understand lashing out, not defending them. No, and that's an important thing here. And that's kind of what I was getting at with that whole bullying thing, is that even the bullies kind of need help. And you have these teachers who don't know how to deal with bullies, and a school system that doesn't want to, because the problem is that the bullying is usually a reflection of something. Not all the time. I stress this. Sometimes there's just some kids who don't understand social normities. They're a little bigger, and there's a pecking order in school that comes. And we don't talk about this a lot. Everyone thinks about bullies, and we instantly think about the boy bully. But we're not talking about the girls who are on purposely, savagely, disgustingly vicious to people and like to cause problems. And again, that could be a circumstance of what's going on. And there is something going on there. And it needs to be addressed, no matter what. It's never nice to bully anyone. And I tease people, and I've said things that, back at people, that sometimes I wish I could have back, but sometimes I don't care. I was always raised as a smartass. I was raised in a family where we spoke our mind. So a lot of people are always taken back by that fact. I think even to this date, as an adult, some people find me a little too much at times, because I'm a very honest person. And especially as I've gotten older. When I was younger, I felt like I had this preconceived notion of what people thought I was supposed to be. And I spent too much time worrying about trying to fit that, if that makes sense. And the older I got, the more I didn't care, the more honest I was. To this date, where people still get pissed at me for calling people out and being honest, and I won't change, because I'm honest on purpose. I'm honest about who I am. That's it. End of story. And if I have a feeling, I'm going to express it. Because if I'm wrong, please tell me why I'm wrong so I can learn, because life is about learning. Wendy said, I just want to go back to an age where I wasn't considering cybertronics to fix everything in my body that's broken. You're not kidding, Wendy. I can barely walk today. I'm looking forward to cybertronics, because that way I can live forever. I am planning to be cyborg. My human flesh might run away. Metal suit. I'm totally okay with that. Give me the liquid Terminator body. That's perfectly fine by me. All right. And Dean shares with us that even employees don't know how to deal. It's amazing in all aspects of life. It's very difficult. Because see, as a boss, as someone who's been a manager, I can tell you this: if you're weak, you get walked on. And the human condition, I mean, you see it in the roadways. People are shitty to each other as they drive. They cut each other off. They give each other fingers. People do something wrong and they give other people fingers. People decide that they own the road. It's a cultural thing. We've gone too much away from being tribes as a group, and we're more segregated into these smaller groups that we're supposed to be. And I just I don't know. I'm not a smart enough man to have a simple switch answer. The answer is that we slowly begin to see each other as human beings, and we begin to actually respect each other. And that's why stories like this, I think, are so important. And I think it's really, really positive that we do this together. Um, just got 5 of them. Sorry. Okay. Most of it's not important for right now for the show. It's all important, so I'm definitely gonna check it out till I get the show. But I got like 5 people messaging me. I want to make sure we didn't miss anything. I did see that this is a cover from where is it? I'm looking right now. When people enter the room, we kind of lose people. I mean, not lose people, but lose where I was looking. Okay, that cover is by Bill Waco. You got a lot of good friends. It was at Walco. Some pretty good friends there, Dean, and just this one's pretty cool too by Diana. And I kind of like the way that they're all good, but this one feels like very true to like the hair and the way that it is. I just have a feeling like this is like the best probable representation of the closest to human being necessarily. This is the definite the quintessential comic book art. I absolutely love it. I love the shape. I've known girls who wore that exact outfit, except probably the t-shirt and the shoes, because back then it was boots in the 90s. But the sitting on the ground just like that. And it's weird to be a teenager, and it doesn't end. It never ends. And we all need to know how to work with each other and be with each other. And learning about depression is very important. Learning how it affects us all is very important. Okay. This is based on the model picture. That is based on a model picture. Oh, that makes sense. I could totally see that. Is the model like a public entity? I didn't want to show her off on the last show. I didn't want it to come even be any way creepy. I try to be mindful of people's rights. I don't know if she has like a public profile. If you could answer that, that'd be pretty cool. We're going to quickly jump over and we're going to talk about, see, now everything is open. See, I don't like Facebook for that reason. It does it to me all the time on these live videos. So, here we go. Sylvester L. Mons is bringing us this. And I want you guys to be part of this. I really do. And I'm going to show Bob Sally and I'm going to get to it. So, we're talking about cosplaying. How many of you guys have your characters cosplayed? And the reason I'm bringing this up is that Dean has got the perfect cosplayer. She is the model for Killstar, which is a goth clothing line. Okay, so if we go to that. So we're going to go to that in just 1 second. So check this out. Cosplaying indie characters. And I know Andre Molinari does it with his Shepherd character, and he's had other people do it. And I've seen Bob Sally show. We were talking about Booth Babes. And what do you guys think about Booth Babes? Go ahead and throw it in there in the comments section. But I mean, you've got the instant. Have you thought about her, Dean, actually cosplaying your character? Once you guys got it printed? Oh, I love that cover. So we're gonna look up Killstar on Facebook and see what comes up. Have you thought about her being at the booth with you, possibly? All right. Alternative ideas. Here's Killstar. Oh, no. Oh, okay. It's just Killstar. See, now, this is like, these are people I used to hang out with in New York. These are my people, is that, as the word goes out. I love hanging out with the alternative community, because I don't like calling it goth, because goth isn't even goth anymore. Not like it used to be. And I'm trying to see the particular I wonder if it's her. Is she blonde? I'm trying to see. Let's see photos. I think that was her. I'm assuming that's her, because that looks exactly like it. So just off the top of my head, I'm going to say that that's her. Although she has blue eyes and your character has green. All right, so I'm going to check my message off of here, and I'm going to see what we can do. So I got a note. Yeah, I was going to say the eye color looks wrong. All right. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we're definitely going to share that. All right, give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out how to. I gotta do something cool. I gotta save the photo. Once I save the photo, we can share it with you guys. Luckily, this time we actually decided to go ahead and it should do it. Sorry about that. I apparently sent it to the wrong place. That's on me. Facebook got interrupted for a second. So we should have it coming up right now. So everything is set. So even our YouTube audience is going to be able to see the full frame of this picture. You guys are seeing a lot of stuff right there. Some of it you're not supposed to see. Some of it's you can see. All right, so that's taking a little bit to download. Not sure why. There it goes. Oh, because we're on so many different things right now, I'm sure. So here it comes. Check this out. We're gonna do this side by side, and you guys are gonna see it. What a beautiful young woman. And let's do this side by side here. Simply gorgeous young woman. And there we go. Yeah, see? There were things about the hair that like really made me feel like this was like based upon a human being. And very, very cool. Love the lips. The lips got absolutely nailed on this. Well done indeed. Simply amazing. I definitely think that you should have her at the show. I think that, I don't know how involved she is in the actual project per se, but she would be amazing at a table. She's just got a natural beauty about her and just wonderful eyes. That I think that you do capture at certain points of the book, and I love the human expression that you guys have on this. So thank you for sharing that with us. We're going to go ahead and we're going to turn this away. And I'm going to check my comment section because I was not paying attention for a minute. And let's see if we had anything. Nope. Okay. So we're going to head back over to the ADVOCATOR for a few minutes. She was an inspiration, and Diana did an amazing job. Yeah, she did. She did. Absolutely agree with you on that. So the ADVOCATOR, let's talk about this for a few minutes. And Dean, if you have any more answers for us, go ahead and put them in, and we'll circle back. Let me talk to you about this. Let me talk to you guys about the importance of the ADVOCATOR. So here we go. The ADVOCATOR Presents is a collection of short stories from indie creators who have their own pre-established franchises, now offering continued shorts of the characters you have fallen in love with and may even have gained some insight into those characters. For some of our creators featured in the volume that you're already a fan of, you get a new story that has never been seen before. The ADVOCATOR Presents is a new way to advocate for creators and their creations by allowing and challenging them to create new stories within their worlds and then advocate for each other on the Comic-Con. All are equal, meaning that there's a structure within our group. Me, Chuck, and Travis. It's 3 people on. Trusted the fact that he would always put the project ahead of everything else. So, you know, in Chuck, we trust. And me and Travis have been able to work around most of the things, and it's not like it's been an ego fest, but you always want to have someone there who can kind of side with it. And sometimes Chuck didn't side with either one of us and actually inspired us to try harder to do better. So I'm excited about that. A great benefit of this project is that the creators are all equal, and all creators will get an even share of the printed book, meaning there's no money. No one gets money. I am doing this project because I love indie comics, and I wanted to do something with indie comics. This is not for my table. I would probably make more money and makes more sense for me to promote my own books, but I want to bring books with my friends in them with me to tables. And John Crawford is joining us in the next issue. It is absolutely amazing. I'm going to tell you more about it as details come to us. So he's already joining me, Brian K. Moore, CB Zane, who's my artist, they're bringing into the suck into this world. I'm drawing a blank on the other 3 names. Martha Schwartz. I meant to, if I didn't mention Martha Schwartz is bringing Seed Seekers. I know her, and I think, you know, we can actually go look at it because we just did it. Brian K. Morris. It's so hard to turn this page off because I absolutely love this page. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go to the Advocator. And I think we might actually have the Advocator connected now to this site or to our network here on Facebook. Let me see. So you connect these different groups and then they never show when you want them to. All right. So let's see. Let's just go to the Advocator. Now you guys can join and like the page and see more updates about it. Here we go. We're going to give you guys a big update. Here we are. So it doesn't tell you everyone that we got going on in it. Mary Revised finishes off in the Advocator, but depending on how this Kickstarter goes, we might actually do something different with that. You will get the full story, but we haven't figured out exactly how it lands. Here's my crossover hit. I don't actually know who this. Oh, I think that's the Nature Boy, believe it or not. That's what that is. That's the first time I'm seeing the art. Travis has only seen the art so far. I am not sure what this is. These two, I don't know their names off the top of my head. Travis put together the team, basically. We should maybe even think about pushing him to the fall issue. He would do probably great in the fall issue. I got to talk to Travis about that. See what this creator's doing and see if they'd want to be in the fall issue. Because that looks like, so the fall issue is going to be our first one that's going to have an official theme. We're trying to do Halloween-esque, like horror or monsters or something like that for the future. So we're definitely excited about the fall issue. I got to talk to Travis about that. Maybe we can put that into the fall issue. Because just that imagery right there has got me sold that might belong in the fall. All right, guys. So one of the things that people have asked me about the Advocator a lot lately is how can they be part of it? Besides backing it, obviously, which I'm going to drop the link to the Advocator in here. You guys will be able to back it, and I appreciate everyone who does. There we go in there. So one of the really cool things about the Advocator here is the fact that it's an ongoing building momentum group of creators coming together to build this. And of course, our reach is going to be extended the further and the more that we're in it. We have a lot of ideas that we want to do. We're really excited about it. We have to get through this first Kickstarter. And a lot of people have been asking me, especially, and you know, I'm pretty honest with you guys. A lot of people have said, "Oh, Rob, you know, you've gotten a lot of backers." We were at 108. I don't know what happened, but they were like, "You've gotten a lot of backers. You've gotten $1,700, but you're, just under 1,000 away from your goal with 9 days to go. Are you nervous?" And to be fair with the project, one of the things that we went into, there are two things that we did in this project that I necessarily think that were a mistake. I think that we kind of screwed up, and that it was okay because we were taking a chance. It's okay to make a mistake because you're doing these things. So I'm not nervous about admitting it. The first thing I think we made a mistake with was the alternate covers. I love the alternate covers for this. The mistake I think we made is that we let them go too cheaply. I personally think that we should have just made these a Kickstarter exclusive cover, and that's it. And because when you're doing a Kickstarter exclusive cover, you guys know those are more expensive because you got to pay the artist, and it's going to be only a limited amount made. And I would limit it to the fact that no one gets it. And then the second book, when we do the Kickstarter, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do all covers, but if you want the all cover, it's going to cost you about 20 to 30 bucks because those are going to be exclusively limited to the Kickstarter. On this Kickstarter, we didn't price them like they were special, and I think that kind of hurt us. The second thing, again, with the pricing, we were very moderate with the pricing. See here, we did all the covers, no shipping for 25 bucks. I think that we could have gotten more. And it's hard now because now you've pre-established the amount, and I think that we undervalued this amazing project. And I know for the next edition we will not be making that a thing. We'll be definitely showing the value of it. You guys will be getting exclusive. If there's a cover that is an alternate cover, it will be exclusive to the Kickstarter. That is my commitment to it. I want it to be special. And that's it. Whatever people order, it'll be what they order. Now, if the artists themselves or then I expect them to sell it at their table if that's what they're planning to do at a premium, because it would be an Kickstarter exclusive. And we're going to actually make sure, and I'll be right with you, Dean. We're going to make sure that we're watching where these covers are going, because we'll be able to watch from the background exactly who's getting what. So I'm going to make sure that it becomes a thing. And of course, because it's a first time and we wanted to remove the greed thing, we the one big thing here was the 250, which I can't believe no one did that. Maybe we should do that for 125. I'll talk to the guys. Maybe we can bring it down to 125. People will be more excited about it. So you can get me, Travis, and Chuck helping you with your comic book. But 250 might be a lot. Maybe we can cut that down to 125 and do a deal for you guys. The Indie Superstar, you get all the covers for $35. Again, this is like an insane deal that no one's picking up on. And what do we have? 9 backers, 9 people are in that for 35 bucks. You guys don't understand, man. You're getting 6 comic books for the price of $35 on Kickstarter. And whatever shipping would be, but that's insanity, especially considering these are all alternate covers being involved. And as alternate covers, they're not going to be a lot of it. They're not. There's going to be a few that's only going to be how it is, and once they're done, they're done. They're not going to be reproduced. One of the things that, even though we didn't limit it just to Kickstarter on this go, they are going to be limited. There's a one-time printing, and that's it. No one is going to be able to reprint the covers. So the only way to get these covers right now, outside of the creators ordering a few for their own, which they will have to actually come a little bit out of pocket for if they want their covers, will be to buy it on this Kickstarter or buy it at their table. And there'll be a limited amount. These are not getting mass-produced, and we're going to keep track of how many are printed. So we're going to make sure, and if we find out that someone goes behind our back, not only will be that a violation of our trust, but it'll be definitely something that we publicly, and I'm not a big public calling people out on, but that would be something that I would publicly call someone out on, to betray us that way, because I'd want the audience to know that it wasn't us, and it was certainly not our choice that someone to do that. If you offer something like this, and it doesn't mean they can't use the cover, and I want to stress that. They want to use the cover for something else down the line, God bless, do what you got to do. We're only talking about reprinting the ADVOCATOR here. And I want to stress that. And I want to get to what Dean said, because it's important. Dean says, I can understand the nervous thing. 1,000 away from my goal with 10 days to go, and had some people back out lately. Yeah, Kickstarter's not what it was. I know if we had launched this at the same time a year ago, we would have funded. I mean, a year ago at this time, to be honest with you, I launched. All right, see, we have 109 backers on our Kickstarter, right? And because I'm in my profile, we can probably see. Yeah. All right. So Aftermath was just about this time last year, I think. No, it was Mentor Search. Mentor Search went between Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. We even did some cute little art for it. So, and I had 50 backers bring $776 into the project, which was awesome in my opinion. Because I didn't promote this Kickstarter. To be honest with you, I knew I wanted to do a trade later in the year, and I did not want to, I'll be accused of double dipping too much, which I do see some creators do. And a lot of times I don't get into trouble with it, but I'm just not a huge Kickstarter fan to begin with. I wish that I could do everything on my own. I got to look at that in a minute when I get off that. Well, in a few minutes when I get off the air. So I brought this to life. And I, to be honest with you, I think I would have done it a lot different now. And that's the cool thing about looking back at these projects is that we do get to a point where we are better later on than we were at the first time. So I'm excited about it. And I only asked for 250, because all I was looking for is a limited print. 'Cause in my mind, we were going to do this whole interesting thing. And it's funny because the cover that we wound up doing was never even shown in this. And I guarantee you, if we had shown the cover that we wound up using, it would have blown up. And I'm kind of banging on it. And I'm going to give you guys actually the look of the cover. It's actually opened recently. So let me see. Recent. So here you guys go. You guys are going to get a peek at what's coming for me in 2013. I don't know why this is here. Oh, I've got the color stick on. Because I was just doing the banner. All right, let's just get rid of that for now. So that was how the cover looked, right? For when we eventually released it. And here is how the new cover looks. And you guys are going to see for the first time the new cover of Barbara Unleashed. And yeah, we're taking and switching what was Fetish Babies, which will continue, by the way. There's been some confusion about that. I'm rebranding a couple stories Barbara Unleashed, but the Fetish Babies itself is actually going to continue to exist and be a separate comic book. So this is actually now a spin-off of Fetish Babies, if you want to get technical. So it's a new cover. We're going to do a flip. For those who have seen it before, they show 2019 with Barbara Unleashed. And let me just see if we have any other comments. And I do want to apologize. I know it's been weird for us with our doing it on Tuesday, not doing it on Tuesday. Some of that's been my health issues and then the holidays. We will get this to the point where it's every week. And if I can't do it, maybe I'll have someone else do it so the show can continue. And if anyone wants to jump on, hey, I see Chuck is joining us. If Chuck, you want to join on, let me know. I know you're probably just waking up. No, actually, you should probably be up for a little bit. If you want to come on and pitch your part of the let's see. I see that I can bring you on. I'm seeing if it'll let me. Hold on. I'm going to have to take this off. Let's see if we're going to bring him on through the Facebook for once. So we'll actually show him on Facebook Cam. Let's see if we can get Chuck to come on. Usually we do Google Chrome, but this time we'll see if we can bring him on just Facebook. But I also am curious, which I saw that yesterday and I meant to check it out. And the reason I also want to bring him on is I noticed he has a new cover. And there he is. Chuck, can you hear us?
Hey, buddy.
What's going on?
I can hear you. I'm putting my shirt on.
Oh, I was like, I see him. I do see him, but I don't see him.
Yeah, I just woke up recently.
Oh, you could be naked for the show. I don't have a problem with that. We were talking about booth babes yesterday. I don't know if you saw that. We were actually talking about the importance of, because everyone keeps telling me I need a booth babe, and you know what that really means, right? They're telling me I'm hard on the.
I do.
They're telling me I'm hard on the eyes. They're tired of looking at me. They want a change of scenery. All right, I'm trying to see.
Don't they all?
Yeah, but
You know what though? I think booth babes. To get on that subject for a second, I'm trying to find a good spot. I think booth babes are for people who have a hard time selling on their own.
I don't know if that's
Who have a hard
necessarily.
time wrangling.
See now, but you say that, but then realize that some of the people who are using booth babes are people like Bob Sally, who literally would probably outsell me and you in a heartbeat. And I say that as an ego-driven person who competes with people. Ask Travis.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, okay, fine. So then, what's the purpose?
To get more attention, and he actually has them dress up like the characters. See, that's clever. Having them cosplay as your characters.
I totally think that. Yeah, I totally think that's clever, and that's not. I'm not trying to be a douche about it. It's more that like, but it does prove my point.
No, I understand your point. That was my point when I started the other day, because I went on. You know what? I'll be honest here. I'll say this publicly. I went onto Facebook like, okay, I'm going to prove everyone wrong about booth babes. Like, I'm going to put this on, and everyone's going to get upset and be like, Rob, don't do that. Because someone had said it to me a year ago during the whole Me Too thing. And when I posted it, people got offended. Now, maybe I've cleared my list of like people who get really offended at shit after a year. And that's very possible. We might have weeded out the delicate flowers. That is very possible.
Are you still there?
Yeah. We might have gotten rid of the delicate flowers. But check out. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Check that out. That is a booth babe, because that's, you know, and this weekend I had a booth babe too. I had Travis with me.
Yeah, you did.
So,
Yeah, you did.
and it was funny because someone's like, oh, you can't have guys as that? I was like, what, guys can't be babes? Travis says Rob Anderson clearly is flirting with you, Chuck. Chuck knows I'm flirting with him. Chuck knows I flirt with him offline. We're in Messenger all the time. Like he tells me he's not into fetish, and I'm like, "Are you sure you're not into fetish?" I'm like that gay who, like the guy who's always trying to, the gay guy who's always trying to convert his straight friends to be gay. I'm that way with fetish. You know, I'm like, "Are you sure?" And Chuck knows my sense of humor. Every so often online, I say something, and people are like shocked by it because I don't show a lot of my sense of humor, especially if you don't watch the videos. I think my sense of humor comes out a lot more in videos. So I'll say things at times, and people are like blown away. Like, I can't believe you said that. I'm like, what do you mean? That was moderate.
Yeah.
You should see what I say when no one's watching.
I think that's why I try to be me at all times. Like, I try not to present any kind of professionality, because I know that I'm gonna drop back to just being me again. So you might as well just like me for me, because that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, but I believe in the idea of locker room talk, and to be clear, I don't think it should go as far as most people think locker room talk should go. But I definitely think girls' room talk happens. I think guys getting around will say things to each other when they're comfortable that they might not necessarily say in a group. And sometimes, and this is why I believe in it, sometimes in those little groups, understanding is met. Like when you're open to be free about how you feel, even if it's the wrong way to feel, your friends can call you out because it's now for you. And I hate to use this term because I hate it. It's a safe space for you to actually express yourself. So I do believe that areas like that. But of course, if you have a toxic group of people and you have like the Trump type locker room talk, there's nothing good about that. Like, you know, if my friends were talking about that, I'd be like, dude, you need to calm down. You don't do that, you know? So that you got to have the right mix of friends. And that always goes back to me saying that you have to have the right mix of friends. And let's see, Jamie Tyndale is the king of booth babes. with all his White Widow stuff. Yeah, but he doesn't need an actual booth babe. His art is the booth babe, and that goes back to what Chuck was saying. Chuck's like, and Chuck's seen my booth, and it's funny because Travis has seen this, and he just shakes his head. I literally sit back in my chair most days now. You know, I'm making a menu. We've talked about this. Like, I'm doing everything I can to talk to people less, and not for the obvious reason. My voice gets very sore, and I don't want to pitch to people I'm wasting my time with. I really don't, because some people might not like my book. It's a fetish book. It's a kid's book. It's a book about monsters. I'd rather talk to the people who are interested, save my voice, because even now my voice is growly from this weekend, and I barely talked compared to like a MegaCon show. So when you get to a MegaCon show, and you've been to the bigger shows now, there are so many people hitting you that you get tired of even making your own pitch, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, your art really needs to stand out. And the way I set up my table, and Chuck loves the kids' table I put in at the right shows. We put a kids' table in underneath the table. I'll take it, man. Any idea I do that you guys think will work for you, take it. Because guess what? I can't make money off of that idea outside of my table. It's not like if you do it, suddenly it won't work at my table. Because someone will be like, you know, I saw Chuck do that. You're a fucking rip art artist. Because if they were going to do that, let's be honest, they would be going to every artist alley table with fan art, pointing to people and saying that before they worried about me. Before they worried about, we were near the wall, and the guy was blocking our thing over. I'm telling you, man, I was instantly mad. I don't mind the wall of doom with the fan art. I mind when you turn it so you can't see my booth from walking.
Yeah.
But that's why my table now has those big building blocks on it, the little gate things, because I put my signs that say Fetish Monsters and More. I put my art on the table so people see my table. Because no matter how hard you try, you'll never block my table. And when I'm near someone who tries to put up, like, you know, like build a like little office space for themselves, I have no problem putting shit on my on their walls. And be like, you're blocking me. You can take it down, or I'll put my stuff on. You make the choice. Travis is picking on us. Let's see what Travis is saying. Rob Anderson could be Chuck's bear. I can't be a bear. I'm not big enough to be a bear. Travis could be a bear. Travis has got he'd be the cub. He'd be more like a cub. I think he's just jealous that me and you are flirting and he's not here. Let's see. If I saw Chuck did it, I would assume he did it better. I mean, he's an indie darling. I don't know what he's talking about, but you are the indie darling.
I am that. And I'm owning that now.
And I think he's upset that he's not the indie darling. He tries really hard to like be loved by a lot of people, and like we keep telling him he's not that funny, and he's just not listening.
Indie darlings don't try; they just do.
They're just darlings, you know. That's what it is. Did you see that I was on the Power Hour of Love last night? Oh no, you were doing poker.
Yes.
That's right.
I'm sorry. Yes, I was doing poker. No, I didn't see it. How was it?
It was really cool, actually. We actually, I talked about so much, and I'm not feeling well. You know that. And they were like, "Do you want to come on camera?" And last night I looked like the Outbreak monkey people. You know about an Outbreak, the people who were right next to the monkey right after got really sick. That's how my eyes looked. And I was like, "No, we don't need to show that to the American public. We're good." Because, of course, that would be the one that goes viral. They'd be like, look at him, he's dying.
Yeah, right?
But, yeah, Jamie does a great job. He was just at the show I was at, and he had a good show. I want to say goodbye to him. I hate this about shows, and you'll get used to this the more shows you go to. You go to say goodbye to your friends sometimes at a slow show that ends slow and no one's there. And you're like, shit, did I miss him? Because sometimes they'll come say hi to you. Jamie I saw actually on the way out. I told him I'd see him at the next show. But when I went to his booth, he was gone, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm not there. I'm not going to get to say goodbye to him. And I saw him walking out. I'm like, hey, Jamie. And we talked. But Jamie's a great guy. And you know who White Widow is, right? That was on our site. You talked about it a few times.
Yeah. Now, I know we're live on the Advocator and stuff, but that looks like a real, like, Spider-Woman kind of, I don't want to say knockoff, but it's very similar to a Spider-Woman look, right?
But in fairness, he worked for Marvel. So that was in his wheelhouse. That might have been one of his toys that he held back. I know a lot of creators who created characters while in Marvel and DC that never played with them at Marvel and DC and kept them for their own indie ideas. Because maybe, I mean, think about it. Would White Widow have fit with Peter Parker's universe? Especially when he was at Marvel.
I mean, I've never read White Widow.
Oh, you should definitely read it. Read it, and you'll see why I am saying what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah, of course.
I don't want to give anything away. It's definitely worth picking up if you see Jamie. I would not call it a ripoff of all. And remember, for those who don't know, Spider-Man was a ripoff of another thing earlier in the day.
Oh, yeah. And I wasn't trying to call it a ripoff.
No, I know that. I'm just public. No, it's
I can think of it at the moment.
It's an honest question, though. When you see that, you do think of, like, well, isn't this just like a Spider-Man knockoff? You know, that's a fair thing to say. But I always giggle when I hear that, because Batman was ripped off from basically Zorro and another Batman-like character back in the day. And, you know, Wonder Woman is an Amazon. There's not a lot there. She's just an Amazon with a name, given a little bit of superpowers and using Greek gods. Superman is basically like an overpowered Jesus Christ. You know, it's the truth. It really is.
Yeah.
You know, you can break anything down and say that that's not really that original. It's been done before.
Well, do you know why Superman was bulletproof?
Shit, I did. I can't think of it now. Go ahead and remind me, because I remember it being because I watched that whole thing about it, like 3 different movies about it.
Well, so I'm a big Brad Meltzer fan, and I love his novels, and he actually it's this big, all of his stuff are these big, great, cool conspiracies. And so the idea is that and this part is true, Jerry Siegel's dad was murdered.
Yes.
And so Jerry Siegel, in order to have a true hero, he needed someone who could have saved his dad, someone who was bulletproof.
Yes, thank you. There it is. Yes. The minute you said it, it came back to me. And originally, Superman didn't fly. For those who don't know this, Superman was never intended to fly. That was actually, another creator. And that's what's kind of happened to Superman, is that he was once almost just a Superman from a different world that was stronger. He could stop a locomotive. He was faster than a locomotive. And then he suddenly was faster than the Flash.
Yeah.
You know, and that's weird. What's going on, Alan? And Travis said Superman can't turn water into wine. I don't think they've given him that power yet, but give him time. Give DC time.
He just hasn't tried yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, give him time. I mean, they'll try it. The next new.
Don't retcon it.
It's coming, Travis. It's coming. Once they get bored. Like, he'll be stranded with Batman, and Batman will be being a dick, and he'll just look in the water, and they'll change it, and he'll be like, have some water, Bruce. Calm down. Bruce will be like, this tastes like wine. You just, shh, Bruce. Shh. And I know what you're thinking.
That's the apostles.
And I know what you're thinking. Why would Superman and Batman be stuck on an island? Obviously, the island's made of kryptonite, so Superman can't fly away. I don't know. I have to explain everything to everybody. Glenn wants to know, where's Becca?
Becca's at school. Becca is my youngest daughter, mine and Wendy, and she also is my camera person. She'll hold my camera a lot.
You know, they're child labor laws, right? This is America now. I know you're from Canada. It's all socialism, and you all start working at birth. But in America, we have child laws about these things, my friend.
Well, no, it's only work if you pay them. So.
Oh, fair. Okay, I didn't know. All right. If you're just making them do it because they're your children, it's perfectly legal.
I don't know about you, but like for me, I was working at a young age. Doing like mowing lawns and stuff at the age of 12, 13.
Oh, it was younger. The minute that they could get us to help them do something, we were helping. That was just how we were raised. And it wasn't work. It was just literally doing something with the family. And then that led to me taking people's garbage out at the apartments that we lived in when I was like 8 or 9 years old. Like at 9 years old, I was getting a quarter of a bag to take it. When you live in an apartment in New York City, there's no garbage men. You got to take your garbage to a bigger bin in the back where the parking lots are, where you park your car. and we were in a community with a lot of old women, and they didn't like walking. And that's not disparaging. They actually had medical issues. It wasn't they were old. They also had medical issues. And then when I started it for them, other people thought it was cute that I had this thing. And I did that hustle for like 5 years of my life. I wound up letting my sister start doing it when I became a teenager. And that's how I actually bought a lot of comic books. Because back in the day, a comic book was like 75 cents a dollar. I remember when it went to $1.25 and I was pissed off because it was another quarter. It was another bag of trash I had to take, you know?
Yeah, right.
And that's literally how I looked at it at that point.
I would help them clean the bank. Their job was to go clean the bank late at night, and then we also did lawns. And then afterwards, I would go and they would buy me a comic at the store next door. And yeah, that was how I got into comics.
Yeah, so I mean that's just it, man. Now you were asking how Bob Sally uses it. Check out this picture. That's how Bob. Look at that wrench Bob Sally has. I'm sorry, but Bob Sally's. If he does it, it must work. Like until I saw this picture, I was like, Booth Babes doesn't work. And then I saw this, and I'm like, so how do I get a Booth Babe?
Okay, so here's the thing. I will never go on record and say they don't work. Right now, I kind of can't afford one. So, and luckily I have the personality. I can draw people in. Will I have a Booth Babe at some point? If that's an opportunity that I have, like financially and shit, hell yeah.
Well, I mean, in fairness, you don't always have to pay for a Booth Babe. Notice that in his picture, she's got her actual banner up, and she's handing things out to promote her. It's a trade-off. You actually get them to be on a Comic-Con floor. So I have had cosplayers offer to do things with the Fetish Babies things last year, and I said no to it. Because honestly, especially with the Me Too thing going on, I did not think that would go well. I think I would have gotten crucified, even if she was like, you know, because one of the girls who was suggesting it wanted to like lean into the fetish side of Barbara more. I would think if I did it right away, I would do Schoolgirl to begin. Schoolgirl is just enough to get away with it.
Schoolgirl is great, and you could. I would say depending on the show. Like if you did one of those fetish cons, which you should, have them lead into that, and you can have a lot of fun there.
Well, you know, if you're going to do it, what if I did like I got twins? So here's what I want to do. This is my idea for Booth Babes. I want to get twins that are blonde, and I want to dress one twin up like that and the other twin up like that. And I want them to hold a mirror. And holding a mirror that's the mirror part's been taken out, just the frame of the mirror and looking at each other. I think that'd be so awesome. I am playing the lottery now just so I can accomplish that.
Make it happen.
Because it's twins or girls that look so similar, you can get away with them being twin. You know, friend twins whose parents probably knew each other and hung out at parties that I would hang out at, and that's why they look so alike. Travis Gibbs says, Chuck can afford me. I think Travis meant to say can't afford you, and he screwed up, but now you know that you can actually afford Travis Gibbs. And it's on record. So talk to me about the ADVOCATOR. We lost a backer today. I'm all upset about it. I don't understand what's going on. I've never lost backers until this campaign.
You know, here's my thought, okay? There's an awful lot of Kickstarters that are ending on the 31st. So that's really tough, and people are having to make choices that maybe they didn't realize they had to make, and I get that. Here's the thing, all right? If you drop your thing, or you go from $20 to $7 or whatever, cool, fine, I get that. You know what hurt me was when we had a person who was a $1 backer and they backed out, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like that one bugged me the most. It was a $1 backer.
Well,
it bothered me the most because we talk about this all the time. All you have to do is support for out of $1 really bugged me.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, I don't mind the downgrades. The downgrades are a financial choice, and that actually makes me feel even better because they're like, I'm low on money, but I'm still going to give money because they could easily have said, fuck this, I'm out. So I don't mind downgrades.
Even if someone was in for like $30 and they just go, shit, I can't do it, and they drop out, that sucks. I hate drop pledges, but I get it. It was the $1. Like, that just feels so personal. And maybe that's just me, but it's just, it felt personal. Because we know they can do $1 fucking dollar.
Yeah. And Dean said a couple of things in one of our things. He said, oh, it's a knockoff, talking about the Jamie Spider the Spider Widow. There we go. Thank you. I was trying to remember the name for some reason. And he said there is a Spider-Verse out there. Yeah, but when Jamie might have worked at Marvel, there was no Spider-Verse yet. Spider-Man was. I mean, there had been a Spider-Woman and a Spider-Girl. They're really weird with their continuity now. Marvel's and it used to be funny. Marvel was the one comic book place that had a great continuity, and it was DC that was completely fucked up. And now, sorry about that. One of my friends was calling.
If you say the word knockoff, then you just have to be willing to also say, we're not saying that knockoff is a bad thing. You know, like that's basically how you have to kind of frame it. Is it's a knockoff, but so is everything else, and even if it's a knockoff, it's still awesome. You know.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And he said that I remember all of a sudden Wonder Woman had no invisible plane and now flies. Yeah, that was always weird to me, like why she needed an invisible plane if she could fly. And can she fly? Like there's such incontinuity with that, with her power streams, is that it's like the Transformers. Sometimes the Transformers flew and sometimes they didn't. And even as a kid, it bothered me. Why was Megatron allowed to fly? He's a gun! That really bothered me.
And and that was the funny thing. Megatron could fly, but then like none of the Autobots really could. And I'm like, why were they made better? And maybe if they were made better, maybe they do need to be superior. Like maybe they were supposed to win.
But no, because when I first got hurt with my back, I actually went back and watched all the G1. Two things came to me very quickly within a season. One, no one was in charge of continuity in that show. Things changed by the episode. Color on panels and the mistakes that were in there, they really thought us kids were stupid because we wouldn't catch it. And I remember as a kid actually feeling like there were mistakes being made. Now I can tell you, there was a couple episodes at the very beginning where the Autobots flew, and then they flew later in episodes for no apparent reason. It was crazy.
So the TV show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So it oh man, I'm telling you. It gets me. It bothers me. I don't like the continuity. I was watching how they turned Grimlock into a Constructabot, basically, for one of the series. It's always people put, and this is what I get mad about Marvel and why I'm so upset with them is that Stan Lee created Peter Parker. When Stan Lee stopped creating Peter Parker, they should have changed Spider-Man into someone else. Because no one will understand Peter Parker like Stan Lee did. You know? And I think you saw that with storytelling, and you get that a lot of times. Even Bruce. You know, I like Scott Snyder, don't get me wrong, but I mean, the fact that he tried to make a metal that now makes Batman kind of a metahuman bothers me.
Yeah.
I understand it, but it bothers me.
Yeah. I think the issue is that so many of these characters that were created, they weren't meant to last 60 years.
Yes.
And so the problem is that at some point we needed to move on. But they were never willing to. I mean, these characters are cash cows. How do you do that? And so that's the problem is that, I mean, like, I'm a huge X-Men fan, but there was a point where they jumped the shark and it's just like, yeah, I can't do it anymore. I need to make my own thing. And that's why I made Welcome to the Void.
All right, we got some more comments now. I felt the other way with my Kirby film. One dude backed me $500. We need more people like that. I don't want $500 backers. And I was talking to you when you weren't on the film. I actually think we should bring down that $250 reward for us three to $125. I have to get Travis and you to agree to that, but I think that we should offer our services, but maybe take it down a notch, not make it as extreme. Maybe put it as an advisory council only. Offer it that way. Like, we'll help you, give you advice. Well, you guys, we'll be your sounding board for 125. You want the full shebang, 250.
I'll be honest. If you're a comic creator, that 250 is actually a bargain. Like you've paid for me as an editor. I mean, that so to get all three of us for 250, no, that's a fucking bargain.
Fair enough.
So I don't know necessarily that I want to drop it. I just don't know that, maybe just because of the time of year or whatnot, people can't afford it. Hey, we just got another backer.
Oh, we got to whine more often. Oh, did you see over the weekend the controversy I caused?
Okay, so let me tell you something about that. This is where Chuck gets wrong. I hate it when you came on. You go. You said, "Oh man, do you people hate indie comics? That must be why you're not supporting." And I was like, "Oh fuck, I hate this idea. I'm against it. I want nothing to do with it." And I was about to say something, and then I saw backers fucking flying up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna shut the fuck up and do this thing. If it's working, I'm not fighting it. Well, we jumped up like 15 backers.
Yeah. And one of the things that I did make very clear about that, though, it wasn't that I said that you had to hate indie comics because you aren't backing us. I was saying that you must hate indie comics because you're not backing the idea of what we're doing. Fight me on that. Fight me on the fact that this isn't something you should be excited about as an indie comic book fan. I never said that we had the best book and you had to back it because it was the best book. I said the principle of what we're doing is what every indie fan is always talking about. How can you not be backing it then? And it really...
We're doing exactly, we're doing exactly what people have been trying to do all along, and we're doing it successfully. And the only thing so far that isn't successful in what we're doing is the Kickstarter. And they can change that.
And first off, I think it is successful. 108 backers is not something I would call unsuccessful.
Oh. Successful campaign. I think we've run a good campaign. I think it's been exhausting because it's not just, guys, we didn't do a 30-day campaign. We did a 40 or 45-day campaign. It's been a lot. And
all the shows we've been on, collectively, I think that we've hit over 30 interviews for the Advocator.
I have no doubt. I've done a bunch, big and small, all over the place. Plus, we've done our own live videos and stuff. Like, everyone is working.
Now, I want to talk about this before we continue to talk about that. Let's do it live on here because at this point, it's like we're an hour into the show. A lot of people don't actually go this far into the show. So let's talk about this. Right here, you see it on the screen, right?
Oh, it's beautiful.
That's coming up. Can you see what I'm circling? Let me put my hand here. That's something coming up, isn't it? Yep. And I didn't draw attention to it. And I've said that I wouldn't even identify who that was because I wanted people to look at it. But, that's who I think it is, isn't it?
That's Link from Belial.
Yep, there we go. And I saw that, and I got super excited. And this is exactly like, to me, this makes me so happy about it. The one thing I will say is that he looks like he's floating, and you'll get that joke, and you'll only get that joke. But he looks like he's floating there. But no, this is absolutely amazing. That's a throwback to a different project that you have coming up, and that's coming out soon, right?
Next month.
Next month. Oh man, you know what I'm thinking about doing? Let me get your opinion on this. I want to do that 100. I don't know how I'm going to make it happen yet because I'm on Kickstarter right now, and I don't know what the window is before launching your next campaign is on Kickstarter. I don't know what their official rule is, but we end at 10 o'clock on the 31st. So I'd have 90 minutes to start up a new Kickstarter to do 100. I'm thinking about making 100 covers of Barbara Unleashed. Do the 100 because you're supposed to make 100 of something or offer 100. So I'm actually thinking about doing that, offering this as like the brand new get the first time ever. And it wouldn't be this one. We'd actually do Aftermath first. So this would be the second one we'd release because I'm going to re-release them to the fans who are collectors. Plus, I am going to change some things around because as we talked about, this is now a spin-off of Fetish Babies. It's not actually Fetish Babies. Fetish Babies will continue in a unique fashion, all to its own. So this is something new now. This is now considered a spin-off comic. What do you think about the 100s and all that? You think I should do it?
No, I like the idea of it. Here's my issue with it. I believe that the Make 100 campaign is just supposed to run through January.
No, you can start any point in January. I read. As long as you kickstart in January, it can go as long as you want.
That's true, but here's the issue with it. I believe they're only pushing it through January, which would mean that even if you made a Make 100 in the last 90 minutes, that would be the only period of time where they would push it, and it probably wouldn't even get pushed because it's technically pretty much done.
Oh, so I get what you're saying.
You would never actually get the push from the Make 100. You can still do it and call it that, but it won't get the push from Kickstarter, and that's the point of doing a Make 100 is to get the push from them.
Actually, no, I was doing it to make money to be able to afford to print new copies because, I'll be completely honest. I didn't care about the 100 thing. I just cared that it inspired me because I had to do another Kickstarter. But I also thought, because see, here's a unique thing. I'm on the Advocator, but it's not my book. I'm just basically the referee. So I can go right back to Kickstarter and go, I know you guys think that I haven't delivered that book yet, but it's not actually my book. This is my book. Back this.
Is there a rule against having more than one Kickstarter at a time, though?
Yes. Actually, you can get kicked off the platform. A couple people have, because you're not supposed to double dip at the same time. You can do project after project. There supposedly is a rule I have never seen enforced yet where you can get kicked off a Kickstarter if you do too many Kickstarters. Again, I don't see that happening, but you can set up another account. Hell, this is under my personal account, and I have my wife's was running the Kickstarters under her account. So I could just put this on the old one to bring the fans over from Fetish Babies to Barber Unleashed and explain that this is a spin-off of Fetish Babies. And it's a quick way to explain why this is different. And there are certain things we're now going to have to change it's going to be small little tweaks, but we're going to add some content. And in the second issue Mentor Search, we'll probably add in some of the Barber plays because that's something featured here that we never got to the first time talk about. And Travis even suggested that I take my upcoming story from the Advocator, the second one, and color it and put it in Barber Unleashed, this particular issue.
Yeah.
But this is not coming out till which would be like the summer possibly. Or I could do it right back to back. It's the great thing about indie comics is that we can do whatever we want. We kids, we grown.
Is that the fourth Fetish Babies book, or is this a collection?
No, this would be Mentor Search, just no longer referred to as Mentor Search. This would be issue 2 of Barber Unleashed. Now that it's become Barber Unleashed, we're getting rid of Fetishism Tales. That was such a failure that we're just deleting it. I even got rid of the website. Like we had a website, that's gone now. That's how much I'm walking back away from Fetishism Tales. And instead, Barber Unleashed will be a series. Fetish Babies will be a series. And Barber Plays will probably be a one-shot in 2020. Because there just wasn't a lot of interest in it. I thought more people would want to cross-promote with Barber dressing up as their characters, but people didn't seem to want it. That doesn't mean it can't change in a few months, That always can change, but right now that's why I pushed it to 2020. Same thing with Monsters. Monsters got pushed with 2020, but that Manny's going to be around in 2019. So, it's not that I'm walking away from any project, it's just strategy on the projects. Because the first thing I had to do was fix the public image of the brand Fetish Babies that I fought so long to keep Fetish Babies important. I still think it is an important title. That's why we're not going to fully get rid of it. But we are walking away from it as the ongoing title, if that makes sense. Because the focus is, and I say it all, what really convinced me to do this was the fact that when I was at a Comic-Con table in New York, I was talking to someone about, Fetish Babies being about Barber and being about that. And they turned and they looked at me and said, well, why didn't you just name it after Barbara then if it's her story? And it's like, you know, it's that logic that you don't want to hear sometimes, but then your fans let you know that they see something you don't, and you got to listen. So,
well, I mean, obviously you don't have to listen, but I think it's important that you do and you chose to, because it says something about your relationship with your fandom.
Yeah, you know, and I get it. And some people were nervous about the title. And like I said, we're not getting rid of the title. The title is going to remain in our inventory. Let's do some comments because I see they're piling up. Brian says, what's up, guys? A lot and nothing all at once. Shirley Ditko knew Peter Parker. Yes, Ditko, of course. To give credit to those who don't know, Ditko was, but again, you're bringing up Ditko, Glenn, when Stan Lee was around to guide Peter Parker still, because Stan Lee was in the conversation when Ditko was in charge. So you're still having Stan Lee around to help guide the character. It's like when Bob Kane and Bill Finger are no longer around, does anyone understand Batman anymore? And is that why we have a different Batman? But with credit to Batman, I actually think Batman got better when the creators that created him disappeared. Or at least Bob, because Bill Finger didn't have a lot of control over Batman after a certain point because they gave Batman away and it became something bigger. Bill Finger's basically the guy who gave you everything that you like about Batman still. And Bob Kane pretty much was just the guy who was the office manager who made it a big deal and took credit for it. That's just the truth. You know, fight me in the parking lot if you disagree. Travis Gibbs says, do you want my unborn child too? He said, damn it, Rob Anderson. Travis, do we want your unborn child? I don't know, Chuck. No. No, Travis, you're going to have to keep your unborn child. We'll let you keep that.
Here's the deal. I'll let you name it after me, and I don't want any responsibility.
Look, I already got told that if I recreated, the world would end. I had Jackson, Trump got elected. There might be something going on. I don't think that we should tempt fate and have me have a second child right now. Let's just make sure Jax isn't the really, like, I mean, I named him Damien too. Like, I'm asking for trouble here. I might not be the perfect person for this. And if Chuck doesn't want your child, I think you'll do a great job, Travis. Kidding around aside, I think your kid's going to be absolutely in for a treat because you're going to be his father, and that's an awesome thing. That's an awesome gift. So, Alan says, welcome to the void. Bial, how do you say it? Bialy? Belial. Thank you. It's one of those words with my dyslexia I always screw up. Shared universe? Is that an actual shared universe? That's a good question. Because I know you said recently that Welcome to the Void could go to anything. And I was going to ask you about, since we're doing the Advocator, what if we did fan art of possibly a character that might be on the screen meeting a character from Welcome to the Void who washes dishes?
I'd be all about that. And that's totally possible. Like I said, a lot of people have been like, oh, your book's really serious. You couldn't do any kind of crossover with mine because it's like a superhero or whatever. And I was like, no, he can go to your world. Like, the Void can allow him to go to other places. So, yeah.
I would love him to walk in on Barbara at a fetish club.
It would be so uncomfortable for him.
I know.
About that character.
and the other character that, you know, I know about being with him would make it so much more awkward if that character was the one who took him to show off that world. Was like, oh no, I come here all the time to watch. Just imagine that.
I would love to do a spin-off where the guys from Belial go to and mix up with her, because her and Link would be hilarious. He would have so much fun hitting on her. And, oh my god, they would have a blast.
And now that she's actually going to be, I announced this recently. I don't think we talked about this, but she's actually going to have a character who's a furry / pet play person, and she's going to take him on as a pet. It's going to be a non-sexual relationship. So just imagine her with Link. Like, she would be like, oh, that's cute.
So I'm excited to see your take on that. And here's my thing. Furry to me is really still very weird. I'm having a hard time with it, and I'll be completely honest. I'm uncomfortable with it. And so I would love to see your take on it, because your take on fetish made me more comfortable with it, just as being able to be around it and stuff. So I would be interested in seeing your take on a furry, because I'm betting that would educate me and make me more comfortable with it.
Well, you'll be seeing it because the seeds of it will be in issue number 3 of Barbara Plays that was announced to be Graduation, that is now being broken up into issue 3 and 4 of Barbara Unleashed.
Okay.
So the seeds of the characters meeting will be planted there, and we will be talking about it. And here's the thing. I'm not into pet play. I'm not into furries. I actually am like you. I was very confused by it. It didn't bother me. I was just more confused by it. And I was like, what is, I don't know. I understood pet play. Pet play has been part of BDSM community now for decades. That's nothing new. That I understood to a certain degree. But until I started going to class, and I go to classes all the time for fetish, believe it or not. They're basically panels that happen in dungeons, if you didn't know that or not. And I go to them despite what I know, and I ask questions. And there's like a whole handkerchief culture where you can put a handkerchief in your pocket, and it means something to the people around you and what you're looking for. And apparently it stems from the gay community. And where I grew up, a handkerchief meant something completely different. It meant like these were the guys you didn't mess with. And apparently there's something super different going on at pet play events and furries. So I'm really excited to explore this because it's something I don't know a lot about. And I'm going to actually be hooking up with a brand new friend I made who's very into it and does classes about it. And he wants to see the representation in it. The other thing that everyone is dying for me to talk about is foot fetish.
Is a foot fetish?
Yeah, and that's the one. You know how you feel about the furries? That's how I feel about foot fetish. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know how to translate it, but I know I have to. So it's a weird thing. It's a weird. I know I can nail it, but it's like, how do I don't want Barbara to have anything to do with it because that's not who I think she is. But I was thinking about it.
I don't think you'd be keen to her if you gave her every fucking fetish. So yeah, I mean, she can meet someone. You know what? I would say that I don't understand foot fetish, but I kind of do. Just in that I get that different people love different parts of the body. And so I can at least understand that. What bothers me about the furries is the complete anonymity. And that creeps me out. I don't know who's behind that mask, who's under that suit, and that bothers me. That's what I don't like about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's how the foot fetish is done too. Like when people, the real problem I have with foot fetish is the fact that they're licking something that I think is an organ or an appendage or a part of the body, or worse, wearing the shoes that are dirty. I don't look at feet as clean. You know, like half the time, like if I start thinking about the fact that a girl's got all this makeup on and perfume on and I'm kissing her body, that means I'm ingesting it. That begins to freak me out. Talk about, like, I'm not one of those guys who ever will decide to go what the quote unquote ass to mouth will never happen at my house. Like, no.
But let's think about it. A penis is not clean. Like, for the most part, a penis is not clean. It sits in a little sweat sack. And so, if women can, and men, you know, whoever enjoys a good dick, if they can get over that, then I can kind of see the leap to foot. Obviously, it's less of a sexual organ.
But ironically, they probably taste the same, salty.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
No, I'm not a big fan of even the quote unquote BJ. I'd rather do other things. I don't think it was made for that. I always look at my appendage as a mole. It is meant to burrow and be hidden underground. I don't believe it is. There is nothing about it that was ever to me made that it should be put on a mantle. Like when guys are sending like the dick pics, I never understood it. I'm like, why would you want to show that ugly thing to anyone? It's all veiny and angry. It's like the Hulk while he's transforming. Not after he's done transforming, but like the veins are popping out. It just, and that was the day that Rob and Chuck got kicked off of Facebook. You made the
off of Facebook, and we're not.
And now, funny is this is just the perfect lead-in. Glenn said, but it depends on who you believe Lee actually did. If you believe what Stanley actually did, but that's an old debate. And it's funny that we're talking about that as we recreate the Hulk now as a penis. I'm not getting into that Stan Lee, Kirby. I wasn't there. It's not my call. It's not my call. And both of them made a good amount of money that both of them shouldn't be hurt over anything. And Kirby's name was always on something, unlike Bill Finger. So then you're talking percentages, and a lot of people always blaming Stan Lee, make this big mistake. Stan Lee never owned Marvel. He has never owned Marvel. He didn't make contracts. He didn't negotiate them. Everyone forgets that Marvel's always been owned by someone else. He was part of the family that owned it, and then they sold it from under him and didn't even offer to sell it to him because they didn't think he'd make enough money to actually buy it from him. So how fucked up is that?
Yeah.
I know.
Well, you know what? Like, and yeah, people are bitching about, you know, what Kirby deserved and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, Kirby did not die a poor man. If we're talking about people who really deserved way more than they got, the creators of Superman, Siegel and Schuster, died fucking poor, man.
No, they didn't. You got that wrong. They went through a period of being poor, but were actually put into.
Right. Sorry,
they were put into the Superman movie, and they were paid finally.
Yes,
they didn't die what they should have gotten. They never got what they should have got. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
But Bill Finger absolutely did die in poverty. He absolutely did die penniless, and he died basically not knowing his son. And I'm actually friends with Bill Finger's granddaughter, Athena Finger, and she's going to be part of the Comics in the Classroom comic book that we're working on.
Cool.
Yeah, so I was excited about that. So I'm as an advocate, I like to know about things. You got to give a lot of credit to Neil Adams for what he did for the superhero creators. And did you know, funny story since we're talking about it, did you know what, I forgot if it was Schuster or not, one of them actually made, the artist actually made BDSM art that looked like Lois Lane and Superman. Mm-hmm. And they made a good amount of money doing it. And it was their like giant fuck you to DC Comics.
Yeah. And also, he was from Toronto. He was a Canadian like myself. And they loosely based Metropolis around Toronto.
Can I ask a question, though, then? I'm really confused. If he's from Canada, why did he care that someone else was using it? Wasn't he raised socialist? Shouldn't that have just been Superman for everybody? I'm sorry. Well, I can't go one show without picking on Chuck for his socialist Canada. And I wasn't going to this time. Like, I completely left it alone, and you brought that one up.
It's my fault. I brought it up.
You did. You brought it, and I'm like, oh, socialist Canada at work. I see he moved here to be capitalist. So let's see. Glenn said, oh, all right, we missed this one. Alan said, I know a female artist who does strictly furry artwork and that makes a killing. I think I know the artist you're talking about, and I know someone who worked with them, and she left to do furry art. If I know if it's the same artist, there's a lot of money in furry art right now. That is not why I'm putting it in my book. I actually found it to be an interesting relationship. Chuck knows a lot about the future of the story. And the fact that this person could actually almost be a service dog to her really kind of made me like, this could be something interesting. So,
well, and I think that the thing about fetishism, and of course, I'm not in that world, but I think the thing about fetishism is there's a certain comfortability with being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like there's just something about being kind of out of your comfort zone, and maybe not. Of course you have safe words and all that kind of stuff, which I think is amazing. But I think a lot of it is about, maybe not knowing what comes next. And so I think if you're willing to dive into the stuff that you're comfortable with, you also have to be willing to at least look at the stuff that you're not comfortable with.
I completely agree with you. And you might not know this, jumping not too deep into fetish today, but there's actually now a primal movement in the fetish community, which actually ties into just having primal sex, which is often, it has been basically repackaged from what used to be called rape fantasy, is now considered primal. And I know people have heard of rape fantasies before. People have kind of gotten away from that because, of course, the not only the Me Too movement, but it never sounded really like a good idea to be calling something that. But the idea that someone is primally going to take you over, and when they finally get you down, they can actually have anything they want from you, is a big turn on to some people. So, like you said, that's out of your comfort zone, because you have some people who are like CEOs that wind up being submissive. You have women who are probably could be the strongest feminists, and I don't mean Nazi feminists, I mean regular feminists that believe in equality, who would love to be part of primal. Oh, if it's for me, tell them I'm not here.
Let's see. Let's do this live. Hello. Oh, hey. Sorry, I'm actually live right now on a podcast. Do you mind if I call you back in about 10 or 15? All right, cool. Sorry about that. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Well, I guess we all know when this video is going to end now, Chuck.
You stay 10 or 15, but, you know.
No, I know. But, yeah, no.
What the fuck? Hello? Hello?
I should totally voice what he's hearing.
Hello, how are you?
He looks so confused.
Where are you calling from, Anthony? My electricity bill? Okay, what about it?
Can he get you a better rate? Chuck's switching to solar today.
Okay. Okay. Then we're gonna have to fix that, I assume. Well, then we're gonna have to fix that. I don't want it cut off. Okay, cool. We can do that. Thank you very much. You too. Bye. That's weird.
Usually is.
We get a lot of scammers, and so this one I'm not sure if it's a scam or not. They basically called me and said, hey, we're calling from your electricity bill, and supposedly you weren't billed for the last 2 months, which means that you didn't pay for the last 2 months. And I'm like, no, my wife's not like that. So you're going to have to call or you're going to be cut off in the next half an hour. And I'm like,
so now
what?
we have to stay on the actual video for half an hour and see if you go off there. Just to see if no, that definitely sounds like a scam. You would have gotten notices by now.
It didn't give me anywhere to call. I don't know. It's fucked up.
No, you got to watch, and it's very true. Kids who are watching this, man, you have to watch what you're saying to people. Like when people call me and go, we're looking for Rob AnderSiN, and I'm like, who is this? And they're like, we can't tell you. And then I was like, well, I can't tell you who I am. They're like, but we called you. And I'm like, exactly. So you know who you called, supposedly. I don't know if this is Rob AnderSiN or not, but you could certainly tell me who you are. There's no law. You can't say that, oh, well, the law says we can't say who's calling. No, what you're not supposed to say is, you know, Rob didn't pay his bill because he a broke artist. You know, we coming to get money. That's not something you should say, despite it being true. What you can say is, we're from, like, this is a representative from Credit Will Screw You. We're trying to make sure that we take everything we can from a Mr. Rob AnderSiN. Is he home? Yeah, so idiots. But I get tax all the time. Like people are like, the tax department. I was like, let me tell you, I screwed up with taxes one year. I made a mistake. The taxes let me know within 6 months with a registered letter. And they said to me, yes, you'll be paying this amount. Not can you, not when you will. Hey, this is due now. So get off your ass, sell some of your comics, and give us some money.
I love that they can't pay all these people who are on the big shutdown right now. They can't pay them, but we need to be able to pay them when we don't have money and we're not working and stuff. I love how that beautiful double standard works.
Oh, and it's even better because look, you can still put your taxes in. We just don't know when your money will get to you. But keep doing your taxes and keep paying them. I was like, no, government shutdown means like, that's it. No more taxes. This weekend at the con, I was not collecting taxes. And I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Let me tell you, there's 2 things that scare me. Well, 3 things that scare me in life. Diseases, death, and taxes. Those things scare the shit. Even the Joker said, I don't mess with my taxes.
My thought is, government, if you're not going to work, I ain't going to pay you.
That's Chuck, not Rob's opinion. Get it right. I know you guys are. And someone's like, you know what? Someone came up to my table one time and very seriously was like, you know, the FBI is going to be made aware of what you're doing. And like, they were dead serious. I mean, like, this person must have called the FBI before. They confidently thought they knew how to call the FBI. What they didn't understand is I'm under the assumption the FBI knows who I am and have been following me for years now. So I was like, don't worry. They know who I am. And so far, they're okay with what I'm doing. And then you should have seen the look on this woman's face. I wish I have. I want to set up a camera, but I'm still trying to figure out the legality of setting up a camera in public. Whether or not I can do it or not. I actually have to ask one of my legal friends because I had 2 lawyers and they're split on whether it's legal. Because technically it says that anyone can be filmed, but I'm not the one who put up the sign. So that could lead to legality. So if I can get a green light from two out of 3 lawyers, I'm going to do it. Wendy said it's a scam. Put the phone down.
Is that what Wendy said?
No, she didn't say put the phone down, but she did say it's a scam. So you know she paid the bill.
Well, I mean, she's good with our bills,
Yeah. See? Wendy, you got credit.
So if you're I have a great wife. So if you're looking for, there's a guy called, his name is Gamal Hennessy, and I can hook you up with him, and he is considered the comic book lawyer, and that is what he does, and he's a really cool guy. He's actually in the Comic Books Editors Alliance thing that we're a part of, and he's a great dude to talk to and ask questions, and I would ask a question in that group because that's the kind of work that he does.
Yeah, because I would love to get. I mean, you should see the reactions. Travis giggles, and you will in MegaCon when people come by my table and they're like, "Oh," just big jaw drop. What I like is there was this really cute girl who came up to the table. You can watch it at the live video me and Travis are in at the thing. You have to watch it. So I'm filming, and she stops right in front of me and has this beautiful big smile. Like this little flirty smile about it. And she's there like looking at my sign. And I know what sign she's reading. She's reading the new sign I have that says free spank hugs. Now, in clear transparency between me and you, I'm the Comic-Con highway. I tell everyone, oh, people kept asking for spanks and hugs because I used to say and no one was choosing. So to make it easier, I combined them. The truth is I lost the and. The little thing that said and, the little one, like whatever you call it, the symbol for and, I actually just lost it. So then I made up a story because I'm a writer that was why I was doing it. So then people are like, well, what's a spank hug? And I was like, that's simple. And I explained it to her. I was like, you give a person a nice hug and you make them feel comfortable. You give them like a very loving hug. And then when they've really relaxed into your arms during that hug, you spank them real hard in the backside. And she was like, she got this big smile. We ended the camera because I didn't know where it was going to go. Plus, she did look a little young, which she instantly told us. She's like, I promise you I'm 21. And Travis.
I need to see some ID.
Well, Travis looks at me and just nods no. Travis is like, don't believe it. I don't think it's true. He's like waving it off. No. And then she looks at me and she's like, I might come back for that spank hug with like the cutest look. And Travis is like holding on to my arm. He's like, stay here, old man.
I know that she's on the video right now, that she's watching, my wife, and I'm pretty sure that she knows me well enough to know I would probably give a good spank hug.
When do you have something to look forward to when you get home today?
I mean, like, even at my booth, if someone were like, hey, can I get a spank hug? I'd be like, game on, yeah, I guess I have to.
In all transparency, believe it or not, I have delivered the services. Do you want to know what's kind of scary?
What's that?
No woman has taken me up on it yet.
It's all dudes.
It's
right?
all dudes. It's all dudes. And most of them asked to be spanked. They didn't want the hug.
Oh, they were all about the spank?
They all wanted it. And you know me, I'm like, fuck it. Let's do this shit.
Yeah, of course. Tell them, sorry, dude. It's a spank hug. I'm not just offering spanks. It's both or nothing.
Yeah, I want to feel you next to me. Oh wait, no, that sounds dirty, and I meant it that way. I mean, if they're gonna call you the devil, act like it. The difference between what the SS sold their bit SS, what that SS? Oh, I don't know what SS stands for. Do you know what /S/S is? Sold their bit. Kirby was robbed. Stan Lee supporters? I don't know what the SS is, Glenn. I actually don't know that difference between Kirby and the S. I don't know what the SS is off the top of my head.
The SS, I mean,
I don't think he means that.
About, like, the Nazi?
No. I think he means a company or something. Like, I don't, because it's not SS together. There's a slash on purpose. I just don't know what that stands for right now. Alan says dog days would be huge in the furry community, possibly. I did give my friend who's a furry and a pet player the book to send to some people and show it off. So I'm hoping it can take off. It's one of those things where I think they'd have to see it in their hands because, again, as a community, they haven't been picked on, but you know that they're made fun of. And I don't think that's cool. Because furry, if there's a problem at conventions, it's not furries, it's cosplayers. You know, like cosplayers take up your. I've never had a furry problem. I've had cosplayer problems, you know, where they put their stuff on your. I love this one, where they put their drinks that are now nice and moist and dripping on your table, on your books, so they can take a picture. Uh-oh.
Hello?
Your power's about to be shut off.
Hello? I will hang up if you don't talk to me soon about my power. Hello?
You can plug anything in and use it on me.
Hello, are you there? Would you like to support the Advocator? No, what the Advocator is.
Oh, so Wendy said she got the same call at work. So they must have, Wendy must have been like, you guys are idiots. And then they ran to you. They're like, doesn't she have a husband who's a fool? Yes, she does. Call him.
Honestly, man, the biggest thing that Wendy and I are talking about now is Florida. We're so excited.
You guys are going to move down here. It's going to be me, you, and Travis living in Florida from now on. We're going to get a little... We'll get like the commune that will set up like a little indie creators camp. I've always joked that I think we could...
wanted to do that.
And I'm telling you, you could turn comic books into a religion. I think we really should turn comic... And every Sunday read a comic book that has a moral message. If we do that, we can actually get free land. You can get grants to buy land. You don't have to pay taxes on the land. We don't have to have sermon once a week, and we sit around and read comic books and argue about them. How cool could that religion be?
We already have a minister.
You know, and as Travis pointed out, we have our Jesus in Superman. Travis is going to, like, punch me the next time he sees me. Travis is going to be like, you're a dick. Let's see. Same in England. My bank takes my money from me in 4 seconds, yet 7 days to clear a check. You know what? I wrote a check, and I didn't have enough money in my account because I wrote the check, and my landlord put it in, or my landlord's agent, because we have property managers down here, put the check in that same, like the next day, which she never does, but it was okay because I was on my way to the bank. I made it to the bank. I put money in the bank. So the check should have never gone negative. The minute they put it in the bank, they actually deliberately made my account go negative so they could charge me. They are ruthless now. Back in the day, until your check cashed, you wouldn't be in the negative because the check has to hold for 3 days. So they bounced the check back out. And this was during that whole time when someone had stolen my identity and I was having problems with my accounts.
Oh, okay.
So, like, this was not cool. And, yeah, banks don't give it in. Although TD, to their credit, did actually reverse the thing when I called them out on it. And they were like, yeah, that.
Wait, you're TD?
Yeah, I'm Canadian. I figured socialists know what to do with money. They know how to hold on to it, right? They don't spend it. And they don't spend it on anything like healthcare.
That's not true. We give it to other people.
Oh, that's true. Well, that's what America does with all our money. We borrow it so we can give it to other countries. He said the Superman creators. So I guess the SS were the Superman creators, Glenn? I think that Glenn and us aren't having...
Oh, yes. Schuster and Siegel. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Wendy said, I work for a corporation with am I supposed to be about an unpaid electric book? Oh, am I supposed to do about an unpaid electric book? Get him, Wendy. And she's like, electric book, stupid autocorrect. Autocorrect gets me all the time, man. Autocorrect. And Dean Kish, by the way, is from Canada, too. I guess I have to be nicer to Canadians because I actually like Dean.
What does that mean? Like, oh, you're okay, but I actually like Dean, so now I'm going to be nice to Canadians now.
You know what it meant. You just said you knew what it meant. Why would you ask that question?
If I wasn't a bitch about it, I wouldn't be me.
Yeah, fair enough. But we've gone 2 hours now. I'm sure you got stuff to do. I have to go pick up Jackson a little bit, and I got to drain a lung of whatever fluid is washing around in it. It's choking me to death. Yeah, it's starting to get a little painful. My back is definitely hurting, so it's time to call it a day. We did a lot, though, today. We talked a lot about stuff. People who made the second hour are going to be in for a treat. They're going to be like, I watched the whole first hour. I didn't know if I'd make the second hour, and I heard Dick. And I was sold. That was it. I was in for the whole hour. The first hour of the Advocator is going to be PG, but the later part gets dirty. It's like prime time. Our first hour or two is for the kids. The last one's for the adults. All right, buddy. Go do your stuff. We got to still talk sometime this week about that other stuff, though. We got to make time to sit around. Yeah, I was
actually going to say, how's tomorrow for you?
Depending on the time, could work perfectly.
Okay, man. I'll be in touch.
Yeah, let me know. And we'll talk to you soon, Chuck.
Yep. Peace out, guys.
All right, so we got to hang out with Chuck today. We got to see some amazing projects. As always, we will be back next week to talk about all the projects that you guys want to talk about. Today, we focused a lot about the Advocator, but that's because you guys are lazy. On our way out, though, I want to correct a mistake from the news today. Have you got them all? This is from Dale Lazavar. I always think I say his name wrong. And he's gotten, they're in the news. I didn't know the proper name of his sticky. I thought it was Sticky Comic Books. It's Sticky Graphic Novels. But you should definitely check it out. Some amazing creations coming out from Dale. He has this one on his banner, I believe. And it's definitely an awesome time to see representation of just not all books in diversity, but all sexual natures and sexual orientations. And I put natures in for my fetish because they don't consider fetish and orientation as I would like them to. But that's the end of the show. Glenn, thank you for coming on. Glenn said, nice hearing you guys. And Glenn, I would love to actually have you on one day, sitting around talking about comic books. You seem to be in the know, and I love to talk about comic book people. Maybe this weekend, try to find me as we talk about comics. I think we're doing Let's Talk Comics this Sunday. Stay tuned for more on that. I don't have a show this weekend. There is something going on in Orlando. Travis said that if he got a table, he'd invite me, but I'm not 100% sure I'd actually want to go yet. And that's just, I don't know. I'm not feeling great either. So We'll see. We'll see. You never say no on a Tuesday. You wait till Thursday to make a decision. But as of right now, he's not going either. So it's not even like I have a choice in the matter. But that is it. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Mr. Anderson, and this has been brought to you by the Indie Advocates Network, which we are so excited to be bringing you this exclusive content. You can follow me at MrAnderSiN.com. I am the Indie Advocate and Indie Devil 2 for 1. We are super excited that you joined us today. Thank you for being a part of this amazing show. And check back for more links during the day in this Advocator thread on our site, as we'll be updating them to reflect all the things that we brought you today on our show, including Dean Kish, amazing Tainted book will be added to the links of the show right here in this section. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to tune out and go possibly take a nap before I have to pick up my son. But first, I got to drain a lung. I'll talk to you guys all later. Thank you for all the get well wishes that I've received over the last couple of weeks. I promise I'm trying to get healthy. We'll talk to you all soon about Kickstarters tomorrow on Kickstarter Talk, and the news is at 11 p.m. Kickstarter Talk, I believe we're going to be leaving at 6 p.m. A lot of people seem to like it later in the day. There's more interaction and people can bring us stuff. So 6 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to have Kickstarter Talk, unless something changes, and I'll give you an update on social media. My name is Mr. Anderson, and I have had the privilege of advocating for all of you today.